And welcome back to the channel. And yeah, we are now on day 2 of the Medieval Madness strip down and rebuild, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I got the Playfield out this morning. Could not sleep knowing this thing was down here, and I got myself out of bed about 5 o'clock in the morning and worked on it for about an hour before I went to work. Got the Playfield pulled out, and then after work today, I started stripping everything off of it, and I've got it on the rotisserie here, and I'm just about to as you see, the top side is pretty much everything pulled off except for the trolls and the flippers and the slingshots. That's all I have left. And then I've got to take the switches down so that they're not in the way. I'm doing this just so I can clean that top side of the Playfield and nothing's in the way. I don't break anything. And the great thing about these WPC 95 games of this era is every coil has a connector, which is really sweet. I was about halfway through the job before I decided to start labeling things though, so hopefully that doesn't come back and bite me. Hopefully I can figure out where things go. But as you see, all the connectors disconnected here. Every single coil, every single switch has a connector, so it's pretty sweet. And here is my parts table so far. You see what we got. You know, the castle came apart pretty easily. It's actually only held on, this is only held on with a couple screws. And it's pretty interesting how this mechanism works. If you've never seen this before, I had never seen it before, I'm learning as you are. This thing sits in here, and then there's a hole right here, and a coil pushes a rod up, and I can't do it one-handed, but that rod actually pushes on the central portion of this castle, and the central portion kind of lifts all the other parts up. So, and they're all kind of spring-loaded to go back to center on their own. So I can set it down here and I can show you, like this gets popped up, I can't remember which way, and it pushes that, you know. So these kind of go down kind of like that, and then this one doesn't move, but these three do, and then the center one does. The center one comes up, I think. But anyway, so yeah, that was pretty easy to pull out. So obviously it needs to be cleaned. Here is the gate lock mechanism. Well, the gate / drawbridge mechanism. Really complicated apparatus here. And like a lot of things that I've already seen, this one's broken. So I'm going to sit it here. So I noticed the drawbridge actually works, and the drawbridge just functions through a motor here. You can see that, a motor driving some gears that are totally exposed, and maybe they need to be cleaned and a little bit of grease, I don't know. Maybe not, because then it'll attract dirt, won't it? Yeah, and that raises and lowers the drawbridge assembly right here, which has an opto, and you know, the opto indicates that it's up or down. And then I guess these are limit switches here for the motor itself. And then there's a coil here, and this coil is supposed to raise and lower that gate. And I noticed on this machine that the gate wouldn't raise and lower, and I was like, well, it's probably broken, right? Well, it is broken. Actually, it's just like a pin is missing here. But, you know, if you look at this gate, you can see that it's missing at least, yeah, it's missing one of its little tangs there. So I don't know if I can take that into a frame. Well, it's also chewed up at the top. You see that? You can buy a brand new assembly, which is apparently upgraded. And I'm going to look at that. It's quite expensive. I think it's $250, but I'm going to look at it to see if it's worthwhile to do it. Since I've got it apart this far, if I'm going to rebuild that thing, I might just get and spring for the brand new upgraded assembly. And yeah, oh, I wanted to show you quick, check this out. This is pretty cool repair. If your flipper wears out over the years, and you don't want to spend 49 cents for a new bushing, you can actually just glue it on there. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, you can just use like caulk, and you can caulk your pinball machine. There's so much wiring hackery going on this machine so far that I'm surprised we didn't have fuses blown and all kinds of stuff like that. So, okay, obviously flippers are getting completely rebuilt, and we'll pull the brackets off. Hopefully we can just clean the brackets up and reuse them. I normally don't have to change the brackets, but it will get obviously all new parts here, new end-of-stroke switches, new springs, new coil stops here, obviously a sleeve inside there, and then the bushings. And other than that, another thing I noticed when I was playing it at the place where I bought it is that the troll on the left side, if the thing's upside down, I think it's this one, it would not register when a ball hit it. And I guess that there's some kind of sensor in here. Is it an eddy sensor? No, it's not an eddy sensor. I don't know what it is. Some kind of impact sensor or something here that senses that the ball hit the guy, and it not working. And something else I noticed, look on the bottom side here was, you got this little like ramp assembly here that you can imagine that this is up, so the ball can roll down here, and if it hits the troll, it doesn't like fall into the hole behind it. It can roll off the back of the troll. They repaired this one. Check this out. Pretty cool. Yeah, like a piece of plastic, I don't know, something that they found laying around. So two things. Obviously, this is junk. We'll have to pull that off. But the other thing is I think the bracket here is broken because it's supposed to have like a metal tab here, and that tab is missing. So I'm going to have to take this troll. I'm going to take both of the trolls out and take them apart, clean them, rebuild them, and I guess I'll have to try to find that metal part to swap out. Yeah, and you can actually get... now, I'm looking at this thing now. Maybe the reason that the troll would never indicate is that they put a screw here to hold this piece of plastic in. So when you hit this troll, the troll could never actually move in. That could be the reason, because the other one, maybe it's actually just a switch inside there. Yeah, I bet you that's the issue. But anyway, we're going to pull them apart and figure that out and rebuild them. So no sweat there. All right. So we'll do a bit more, and I'll come back and show you the progress. All right, here we are. It's the next day after we started stripping her down, and we got the whole top side done. We got all the switches down, recessed. We got the slingshots out of the way. So now we're gonna start cleaning. Yeah, I mean, check it out. This is what we're starting with. And turn the light on there. Is that any better? Pretty nasty. A lot of times this dirt actually protects, believe it or not, it protects what's underneath. As long as you don't get a lot of like metallic grit from coils, the coil end stops start to split and give off a metallic dust. If that gets on the playfield, that can cause an issue, and it can be hard to remove, and it can leave little divots in the artwork and in the colors. But normally, if it's just straight up dirt, the ball starts rolling on that dirt, and it protects the artwork underneath. So even though it looks terrible, if you can get it all off, normally the artwork underneath is protected. So here you can see this is where the ball was coming down the in lane, to the flipper. So here I've already started. You can see this is the result of just a couple minutes. And what I use is, I've got it right here. It's a magic eraser. I got this from the German grocery store. They call it something different. And it's also got this blue foam in the middle, but that's not a big deal. I use that with a little bit of simple green. And then for the areas that are really a problem, I'll use isopropyl alcohol as well. You do have to be careful with the isopropyl. When you scrub on it, then you want to pull the sponge up and you want to just double check that there's no color, that you're not taking the actual paint off. But I believe that this is a diamond plate playfield. I believe all the Williams playfields of this era were diamond plate, even though it doesn't say it here. There's no wear on this playfield other than this insert, which seems to be a problematic insert. It's right at the output here from the pop bumpers. So it's probably hitting this rail, bouncing, and then falling right there. Probably why it destroys that insert, because it's the only one. So yeah, this is that's going to be an issue. I saw online that you used to be able to buy this insert by itself, but it's not available anymore. Or this, not insert, but this decal. You could buy a decal to put over that. It's not available anymore, so I'm going to have to hand paint that. I think I've decided against doing a Playfield swap. Now, maybe when I pull this business off here, maybe I'll have a change of heart. But this is an original Playfield, and the reproduction Playfields from Mirko have, how can I say it? A questionable reputation. Let's just put it that way. If you look online at people's comments, and the Playfields, that company also makes Playfields for Jersey Jack games, and you don't have to go very long online before you see dozens and dozens and dozens of stories about the Playfield clear coat chipping off. So I think I'm maybe better to stick with this one. This is going to be an issue. So I'm going to head and clean this, and then we're going to start pulling the Mylar off. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, so we are finished with the cleaning and with the Mylar removal, and we're left with a pretty nice looking Playfield that does have its fair share of defects. The good thing is that this Playfield is so busy, it's going to be really hard for people to see those defects, but I'm going to point them out. And I am going to go and repaint some of these areas and repair them. So I think I'm going to repaint it the way I've done all the other machines, the ones that needed repairs anyway. And I'm going to do that by hand because these are really small areas. We're talking stuff like this, you know, and that can be hand painted, and hopefully I can get the color gradient. It should look pretty good. You know, this is obviously the biggest area. This one here, it's slightly raised. It's slightly pushed up, probably by like a millimeter, because they put a screw down or from underneath, and it basically split the wood and splintered it. I'm going to try to somehow put a clamp here and put some weight on this, and maybe I can press it back down, but I really don't want to damage this insert either because it's so close to it. So it's going to be a tricky repair if I'm able to do much with it. I could cut this, trim some of this out, and then put some filler there and then paint it. And I may end up doing that. It'll be a little tricky to repaint that extra ball lettering because it is quite small. The other issue down here is right here. But again, this is very small. This was another set of screws for the other flipper mech, I guess. And obviously they were too long. So this is a lot easier to retouch here, and it's quite busy, so you won't notice it. Then of course you've got over here on the other in lane. Let's see what else. Of course, the insert up here, the Jets insert, is completely gone. So yeah, I'm going to repaint this, and you're going to be able to tell, but it won't look too bad. And it is hidden because there's so much back here. You know, you've got a ramp here, and there's a wire form that comes around, so I don't think that's going to be too noticeable. The wood here is really torn up, and I could sand this a little bit and then put some clear on it. I might try to do that. I think there's also a protector that I can order for this. Around where the trolls come in and out, there's just a slight amount of wear. I accidentally damaged one of the inserts here, right there, when I was removing the Mylar. I was a little bit impatient and it ripped off a corner of the insert, unfortunately, but I can repaint that and you won't even notice. Again, it's a very busy area here, and unless you really stare at it, nobody's going to really be able to tell. What else do we have? Coming up here, there are two little spots here on this night, one there and one there. Again, that's easy to touch up. This is obviously very worn, but I can sand this, put some clear on it to seal it, and then I actually have a protector kit that I ordered from Pinball Center, which will cover this entire thing here. It'll cover all this wood, and it goes around the inside of this, and it keeps that from getting any worse. And you don't see it anyway because it's inside the castle. There you go. That's the situation. So now we move on to the fun part. I'm going to go get my paints, and we're going to start mixing some colors up. Alrighty, a couple days have passed, and I am here again with the Medieval Madness Playfield. And yeah, I've actually started Reassembly this morning, so I got to get you guys caught up where I'm at. So basically, I've gotten all the paint touch-up done, and you know, I've touched up areas like this here, right above the where the ball drops down, right above this rollover in lane. You can see that came out pretty good, and I'll put a small Mylar over that as well. I got to order some little Mylar squares so I can cut up. I got this area here pretty well retouched, and repainted the word extra and then the black, and put some clear over this area so it all kind of matches. And over here on top of that in lane, same kind of deal, repainted there. Did some touch up here where the ramp flap sits on. You'll never see that anyway. I had to fix my little insert here, but I got that looking pretty good. And of course the jets area, you've seen that multiple times. That's how we've ended up. And I'll probably also put a Mylar over this just to prevent any future wear from happening. And then a couple of small areas over here on the night that are retouched. So yeah, after that, and I put small amounts of clear over each of those repairs, but I didn't clear the whole playfield because it's obviously a diamond plate, so it doesn't need it. And then I put 2 coats of wax on her, and she's ready for reassembly now, which is what I've started down here. And put my Comet Sunlight White 2 SMD bulbs in here. This is what I always use. And yeah, I think I'm going to go with purple down here on the bottom. So hopefully I have enough of those. If not, I'll have to order a couple more. And I can show you, yeah, I've washed a lot of the parts. Took a lot of the stuff upstairs and washed it in the sink because everything was coated in a black dust, coil dust. But these plastics, yeah, they came out really nice. Yeah, they look pretty good, you know. No yellowing really to speak of. So, oh, these here I missed. I didn't wash those. You can see the difference. That needs to be cleaned. So yeah, I'll take that one up. I've got a big mess here going on. But most of these other plastics I have washed and cleaned. You can see that's an example there. So yeah, things are coming along quite well. And tomorrow I should be getting 2 big boxes of parts. So maybe in the next video you'll see we'll be rebuilding some components and some mechanisms.